Why do most people never rise above average? Think about it. Billions of people wake up every day, chase comfort and call it living. They want success, but only if it feels easy. They want freedom, but only if it costs nothing. That's the silent trap, the comfort that kills potential. Most people never realize that comfort is the cage they built for themselves. Every time they choose the easy path, they trade greatness for temporary peace. The truth is harsh, but its real average is not a result, it's a decision. The difference between those who stay stuck and those who break through isn't talent. It's not luck, it's mindset. The 99% of people think life is supposed to be balanced, comfortable, and predictable. They're always waiting for the right moment. The day motivation strikes, the day opportunity knocks. But the 1% don't wait. They create. They move even when it's uncomfortable, even when no one's watching. They don't need motivation because they've built habits that don't depend on feelings. They've made peace with struggle. They see pain as progress and discomfort as proof they're growing. Every time you choose comfort, you're choosing to stay the same. You're feeding the illusion that there's still time, that one day you'll start. But one day never comes. The 1% know that hesitation kills dreams faster than failure ever could. They understand that the mind loves comfort, but the soul craves challenge. They refuse to let fear dictate the limits of their life. When others slow down, they speed up. When others quit, they dig deeper. When others doubt, they decide. That's the separation point, not in intelligence, not in ability, but in mindset. The average person wants results without sacrifice. They want the body without the discipline, the wealth without the work, the respect without the risk. But the universe doesn't reward want, it rewards effort. Every day, the 1% prove it through action. They do what they said they would do, even when it's boring, painful, or invisible. They understand that greatness isn't built in moments of excitement, but in moments of resistance. While most people look for an escape, they look for an edge. The truth is uncomfortable because it's supposed to be. You're not meant to feel safe while hearing this. You're meant to wake up. If you're tired of feeling stuck, it's not because life is unfair. It's because you've accepted less than what you're capable of. But the moment you decide that comfort is the real enemy, everything changes. That's where transformation begins, not in motivation, but in choice. The 1% mindset starts when you stop asking for an easy life and start demanding more from yourself. Stay until the end, because what comes next will show you how to think, act, and rise like the 1%. And never look back. Pain is not your enemy. It's your teacher. Every struggle you've ever faced carried a message, but most people never stay long enough to hear it. They run when it hurts. They quit when it burns. They think discomfort means something is wrong, when in truth, it's the only sign they're moving in the right direction. The 1% understand that pain is not punishment. It's progress in disguise. It's the universe asking, how bad do you really want it? And waiting to see what you'll do next. Most people fail not because they can't win, but because they can't handle the weight that comes before the victory. The mind has a simple rule: protect, preserve, survive. It hates discomfort. It loves routine. That's why breaking your limits feels like war, because it is. You're not fighting the world. You're fighting the voice in your head that tells you to stop. The 1% have mastered that war. They've trained their minds to see resistance as fuel. When they fall, they don't complain, they adapt. When they're rejected, they don't hide, they learn. They understand that failure is not the opposite of success. It's the process that creates it. Each setback refines them. Each scar reminds them they survive. Every successful person you've ever admired has been through more failure than you can imagine. But they didn't view it as loss. They viewed it as information. Failure told them what didn't work. Pain told them what to fix. Rejection told them where to grow. That's why the 1% move differently. They don't fear mistakes, they expect them. They don't avoid the dark, they walk straight into it. Because inside that darkness, they find clarity, discipline, and strength. Growth doesn't happen in safety. It happens in chaos and uncertainty, in moments where quitting seems easier than continuing. Your brain rewires under stress. Your character forms under pressure. Your strength grows in silence, when no one claps, no one helps, and no one believes. That's where the 1% are built, not in moments of praise, but in moments of pain. Every second you spend running from discomfort is a second you delay your evolution. The only way to grow is through it, not around it. The 1% don't pray for easier lives. They train for harder challenges. They understand that pain doesn't end when you achieve success. It just evolves into new levels of struggle. The difference is they're ready for it. So when it hurts, don't ask, why me? Ask, what is this teaching me? Because the pain you're feeling now is the foundation of the power you're becoming. Every tear, every setback, every sleepless night, they're building you into someone unshakable. The 1% mindset is born in those moments. And once you understand that pain is the price of greatness, You stop running from it and start using it to rise. Mindset means nothing without action. You can think like the 1%, but until you live like them, nothing changes. The difference between wishing and becoming is built in the smallest choices you make each day. Most people want massive results but ignore the simple disciplines that create them. The 1% don't wait for perfect conditions. They start, they move, they execute. They understand that consistency beats intensity, that small steps taken daily will destroy the giant leaps that never happen. They know the truth: you become what you repeatedly do. Every habit, every choice, every minute is shaping who you are becoming. Discipline isn't about being strict. It's about self-respect. It's the daily reminder that your goals are worth more than your comfort. When the 1% wake up tired, they move anyway. When distractions whisper, they shut them out. They've built a system that works even when motivation dies. That's why they keep growing when others fall off. They don't chase the feeling of progress, they build the structure that guarantees it. Every morning routine, every focused hour, every refusal to waste time, these moments compound. Success isn't a single decision. It's thousands of small, invisible victories stacked on top of each other. The 1% understand that attention is the new wealth. They protect it fiercely. They don't scroll aimlessly. They don't engage in gossip. They don't chase noise. They know that where attention goes, energy flows. Every second wasted is a second stolen from their potential. So they build boundaries. They create silence. They use solitude as a weapon. While the world distracts itself to death, they use every moment to sharpen their edge. They understand that focus is a muscle, and they train it daily. That's how they outperform talent, intelligence, and luck. They outlast, they outthink, they outwork. Every habit you build is a vote for the person you're becoming. Each time you follow through, you strengthen belief. Each time you quit, you weaken it. The 1% keep promises to themselves, even when no one sees. That's why they trust their own word. That's why their confidence grows unshakable. You can't build power by lying to yourself. You build it by doing exactly what you said you would do every single time. That's how discipline turns into identity. That's how ordinary people transform into unstoppable forces. You don't need to change your life overnight. You just need to commit to becoming 1% better today. That small, consistent improvement compounds until it becomes unstoppable momentum. The results won't come fast, but they will come guaranteed. Because once you align your habits with your vision, success becomes inevitable. Discipline becomes freedom. Routine becomes strength. Progress becomes identity. That's the secret the 1% live by. Not perfection, but relentless consistency. And if you live by that truth, one day you'll look back and realize you didn't just chase greatness. You built it, one disciplined choice at a time. The 1% mindset is not about money, fame, or status. It's about mastery over yourself. It's the moment you stop being controlled by fear, doubt, and excuses. It's when you realize no one is coming to save you, and that realization becomes your liberation. When you stop waiting for help, you discover your own power. You stop playing the victim and you start playing the creator. You take back control of your time, your focus, and your life. That's when everything begins to change, not because the world gets easier, but because you get stronger. You stop needing validation. You stop seeking approval. You stop trying to fit in with people who have no ambition. The 1% mindset is ruthless about energy. It removes anything that weakens the mission. Every distraction, every toxic habit, every excuse gets cut away. You stop living in reaction and start living with intention. You wake up with a reason, and that reason becomes your armor. You no longer move for applause. You move for evolution. And every day, that mindset grows sharper, colder, more focused. You stop hoping for change. You become change. You start seeing struggle differently. You see failure as feedback, not defeat. You see rejection as redirection. You understand that life doesn't break you, it reveals you. The pressure that once scared you now polishes you. The pain that once crushed you now fuels you. You begin to crave growth more than comfort, challenge more than safety. That's when you become dangerous, because now you can't be broken. You've turned your wounds into weapons. You've turned your doubt into drive. You've learned how to stand alone and still move forward. The 1% mindset means living with purpose, even when no one understands it. It means chasing a vision that others call impossible. It means building in silence, moving with precision, and letting your results make the noise. It's about becoming the kind of person who doesn't need to be pushed because your purpose pulls you. You no longer chase success. You embody it. It's not a dream anymore, it's your standard. You hold yourself accountable to a higher level because you know who you are and who you're becoming. The truth is, the 1% mindset is not reserved for a chosen few. It's available to anyone willing to demand more from themselves. It's a decision, not a destiny. You decide to show up when others don't. You decide to act when others hesitate. You decide to bet on yourself when no one else will. That's how transformation begins, in a single, powerful decision to never settle again. From that moment, you stop existing and start living. You stop surviving and start dominating. That's the 1% mindset. Unbreakable, unstoppable, undeniable. It's not about having more, it's about becoming more. And once you become it, nothing can ever stop you again. You have to understand something powerful. Success is not built in the moment you win. It's built in the moments you refuse to quit. Every time you keep moving when you're exhausted, every time you stay silent when you're doubted, every time you choose growth over comfort, you're building something unbreakable inside you. That's the foundation of the 1% mindset. It's the quiet decision to keep going when no one is watching. It's the invisible work, the late nights, the early mornings, the small acts of discipline that no one sees but everyone eventually feels. You don't become exceptional by doing what's easy. You become exceptional by doing what's required. Every single day. When you truly understand this, your entire life changes. You stop waiting for motivation because you realize it's unreliable. You stop waiting for permission because you realize no one owes you anything. You stop waiting for the perfect plan because you understand progress is messy, painful, and unpredictable. The 1% don't care about perfect conditions. They care about consistent execution. They've mastered the art of moving forward while everyone else hesitates. They've learned that clarity comes through action, not thought. You can't think your way to greatness. You must act your way there. Every time you push beyond what's comfortable, your mind evolves. Every moment you silence your excuses, your identity shifts. You start becoming someone who doesn't flinch under pressure, who doesn't back down from resistance. You build trust with yourself. That's the real victory, self-trust. When you know that you will show up no matter how hard it gets, fear loses its power. Discipline becomes automatic, confidence becomes natural. You no longer need to convince yourself. You've proven it through action. The 1% mindset is about owning your life completely. You stop blaming circumstances. You stop blaming people. You stop blaming the past. You understand that no one's coming to fix it for you. Everything changes the moment you take full responsibility. That's when the world starts bending in your favor. Not because it suddenly becomes easier, but because you've become stronger. Life rewards those who refuse to make excuses. Every step forward, no matter how small, builds momentum. And momentum is unstoppable once it begins. You have everything you need right now to start. You don't need more time. You don't need more resources. You just need more commitment. Because the truth is, life will never hand you the perfect chance. It will hand you challenges. And the 1% mindset turns those challenges into power. It turns resistance into fuel. It turns fear into focus. Every day you delay, someone else is outworking you, outlasting you, outgrowing you. Stop waiting. Start moving. Every second matters. Every action counts. This is your time to rise, not tomorrow, not someday, but now. The 1% mindset begins when excuses end, and yours end today.